Guys. So it's been a long time, hasn't it? Um, well, I have passed my test today. I'm still working like 42-hour work weeks and working at school. And of course, with everything and how it's going, I'm wondering exactly how long that's going to continue. Um, because of course I do have a Pell Grant. Um, I have all of that, and I'm halfway through school. Um, wow. A lot has happened. I'm pretty sure the entire world knows that everything has gone pretty much to hell in a handcart, like a lot of us thought it would, um, if the current regime got their second term. We kind of figured they would pick up where they left off, and that's pretty much what they did, only so much worse. Um, and of course, all of my friends all around the globe, they know that. You guys know that. So, what some of you know, um, uh, some of you guys have been around me for a very long time. Some of you know that I've played with the idea of running for office. Um, I live right now safely in a very safely blue state, but we know, of course, if you have any brains at all, there is no such thing as safe anymore. Even a safely blue state, um, it's going to be one of the first places that Um, they're going to try to inflict the most pain. Unfortunately, where I came from, places like Kentucky, my husband's Florida, Georgia, Alabama, those places are going to hurt first. They're already hurting. No time was wasted, it seems. Um, but I got this weird idea listening to one of my political podcasts, which, as some of you guys know, I've been like super addicted to politics for a while. And I've been doing endlessly. Um, I was listening to it and I was like, wait a second, I had this idea a decade ago of running for office. And I'm thinking of doing it again. As in, I actually signed up for a hour-long seminar for Run for Something. I'm a little bit above the age of what it is they're looking for. Run for Something, of course, is it's for people who are 40 and under. They're trying to get as many young people as they can involved, in government, in politics, get them out there because, of course, we do need a lot of young blood, um, and we need a lot of new people. Now, of course, they're saying just because you're older, like me, does not mean that you are not supported. It's just, it's much easier for someone of my age and my experience in life to be able to supposedly get on the ballot. I've got a long list of things that I need to review and things I need to know how to do. And of course, my biggest thing is that I have friends all over the world, but I spend most of my time working, and I'm a homebody. I'm just going to lay it out there. I'm a homebody. So getting out and organizing and joining protests and everything like that is not something that just normally part of my purview. I'm happy to donate. I've never even done phone banking. And right now, of course, the last 2 years, you guys haven't seen me a whole lot. There's a reason why, of course, you haven't seen me a whole lot is, school, work, everything else. And that drags me away from my happy place. It drags me away from writing, which, of course, 5,000 ideas roaming around up here, none of which are able to make its way to paper. I can't even finish a book these days. So my goofy self decided with my overly packed schedule that, of course, I needed to run for office because we all know how extremely balanced and sane that I am, that I would come up with such a thing. Of course, I thought about this like a decade ago. Um, I had all kinds of really good reasons to put it off. And part of that is I knew that as much as I was involved, as much as I pay attention, there was a lot more that I needed to learn, a lot more life that I needed to have. And I wasn't particularly in a good position at that time to even attempt this. Technically, right now, I'm not in a good position, but I'm much better positioned than I was. Of course, the only thing I have been able to do is keep up with you guys, and trust me, for like the last 2 years, that has been my number one regret. That hanging out with my friends and catching up on their lives and watching them as they do things and go about life and have their struggles um and have their their really high points and even their really low points. I've missed oh so much the last 2 years and dropping posts here and there and not even being able to answer comments, which back in the day, shoot, 4 or 5 years ago was unthinkable to me. Um, Seems that moving to Washington, and being homeless for a bit and then being in crazy housing situations and then starting my crazy jobs, has changed a lot, over my, I guess, oh gosh, I want to say 18-year habit of Livejournal and Dreamwidth. So the last 5 years have been super rocky. I had like a 13-year streak where I was on top of it all, and I answered every comment and I read every post. So the last 2 years, especially with having schooling on top of work, on top of family, has just blown everything out of water. So needless to say, it's my roundabout way, my very, very Mandy roundabout way of apologizing for being gone for so much and not being able to catch up with you guys. And then coming in and going, oh, I'm going to run for office. I mean, because dropping bombs like that seems to be what I'm really good at. Um, the only other bomb I've got is that somehow, 2 years ago, when my oldest was like 16, 17 years old and I started this job, of course, I included him on my tax paperwork. And guess what I forgot to do last year? Change that. So guess who owes money to the IRS for the first time ever in her life? Right, me. That's so much fun. I owe $3,900, of which I have like 2,600 that comes in from my Pell Grant. That's for living expenses that I can put towards it. But I'm going to be making payments for a bit, so that's going to be non-fun. And I still haven't heard back from them because, well, amongst other things, the IRS is being taken apart. A place I used to work for about 7, 8 years ago. Gosh, it's probably been longer than that. About 10, 11 years ago. I worked for them as a temp, and everything's being dismantled, which is one of the reasons why I was like, I'm going to run for office. I mean, I'm in a safely blue state. I love my representation here, but I know with the skills and experience and I mean, when we came here, we just knew that this is home. I've lived in this apartment for like three plus years. I'm definitely an integrated part of the community. Um, I know I mean, I have people that I wave hi to that know me on a first name basis. So, from what I understand, I guess that's kind of what you need to start with. Be likable, which, that's going to be hard for me because everybody knows I'm a mean-tempered ass. But that's where I'm going to be starting. So I have no idea what to do beyond that point. I did, like I said, get in for the first seminar for Run for Something. Learned, well, since I'm not 40 and under, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get assistance from them, but they do have other places that I can go to, and I've got a lot of studying to do, and it's how to go, manage door knocking, how to raise campaign funds, how to um, get enough people interested to assist me, send out mailers, actually go and, register. Um, I know that what I wanted to go for is like state representative or senator. I know, huge leap. Why am I going to start, why start with something small? Um, School board, my children are about out of school. My youngest, he has 2 more years. His IEP may be in jeopardy, but then there's a lot of things that may be in jeopardy. There's a lot that goes on here in Tacoma that I feel needs to be addressed. I mean, I don't want somebody telling me what my kids can and cannot read. The homeless problem here is a huge problem. And it's not a huge problem of, oh, there's homeless people everywhere. It's how they got there in the first place and how they're preyed upon, um, not only by, some members of the community, but, by just harsh conditions, the way that people are just so used to seeing them, they just ignore them. And I was once part of that community. So there's just so much that I want to do, and I actually have to put together a coherent message, learn how to knock on doors, which of course I already told my boys, if I do that, you've got to come with me. And this just I'm like adding more on top of all the other things that I'm doing right now, which is completely insane. But at the same time, it's kind of like when I started school. I'm like, if I don't start now, if I don't attempt this now, I never will. I'll keep finding good reasons to put it off. I mean, I put it off for 10 years and for darn good reasons. But I told myself that, if I keep putting it off, if I keep going, you know what, never mind, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. There may not be a maybe next year. I'm going to try to get in on the 2026. Um, that will be super difficult, just because it is 2025 and it may be the beginning of 2025, but I need to be well known enough, and actually have myself on the ballot and have a familiar face enough and have enough money raised to be able to, actually campaign and go to, town halls and speak with large groups of people. And I have to get that message together first, and so many things I have to learn how to do. And there's so much that has happened over the last couple of years. Um, like I said, my schooling may be in jeopardy. My youngest, his IEP is definitely in jeopardy. Um, my friends who are going on Social Security, that's in jeopardy. So I know I'm not here enough. But this is kind of like a big deal, and I'm like, well, who else am I going to tell? I mean, I've got a couple people here and there that I've said something to, here in Tacoma, but I'm like, so many other big things have happened, um, in my life, and the first urge is always to come here and to let you guys know. There's a lot of things that I haven't really shared with anyone except for maybe T. Hi, T. And there is so much that I've missed from all of you guys, like Miss E and her two little ones. I need to, I need to definitely remember how old they are. They're like 2, right? I need to send them some toys. I need to send them something because it's just amazing that they're here with us. Um, I need to do shout outs to Miss Caviar and Siduri, and I miss all of you guys so much, and I couldn't think of anywhere else that I would come and make such a crazy announcement because, like I said, I mean, I already have enough on my plate that takes me away from you guys. Um, so of course, let's add to it because that definitely makes the most sense. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of cramming for this, a lot of studying. Um, I might actually come back here on occasion and be like, "Hey guys, if there's anything you can suggest, any way that you can help." I'll probably do that because gosh knows it seems I'm only here whenever I need something from you guys. God. Oh, I guess what I need from you guys, um, is to let you know that I still love you, I still think of you. I run to you whenever I want to do something crazy, um, like this. I mean, still work full time, still be taking care of, my people here at home. Um, my poor husband's still trying to find work, so there's that. My eldest has finally gotten serious. He's trying to find work. So I'm helping them with that and studying for this, and I just finished a test um and ran straight into the next course. So of course I'd be doing that, running for office on top of all the rest of that. So I am definitely going to leave the comments open because I really want you all to feel free to tell me how completely insane I am. Because I am obviously, but yeah, it's just one of those things of if I don't do it now, when I've been kicking it around for over a decade, and it just struck me like lightning out of the blue, like school did. I mean, it was just one of those things that just struck me out of the blue, and I went, okay, we're going to do this. It takes me forever to come to decisions. And I'm like the biggest nail biter, as you can see, and hem hawer that you will ever come across. But when it's time to do it, it's time to do it. I am 100% scared out of my mind, 100% sure that everybody's going to go, huh, what? I mean, some, 46 going on, well, 47 going on 48-year-old bitch is gonna, I mean, what? I mean, how's that new blood? I sometimes, I was raised in the 80s, have to remember that sometimes older doesn't mean bad things. I'd be bringing experience. I'd be bringing um, life experience, skills that some people maybe younger than me wouldn't have. But um, the worst thing that can happen is people go, nah, nah. Um, Also, the worst thing that can happen is people go, yeah, yeah, we'll take it. So those are two of the worst things that can happen. Um, but I realize that when we say old guard, we don't necessarily mean older people. Um, and we have a lot of old guard in the party that I support that they're not doing what they need to do. And it doesn't seem that all the screaming and begging and pleading is going to change that. I think I know what needs to be done. I'm not very good at confrontations, but I'm pretty sure uh, Ms. Lisa, Ms. Kathy will remember that if you get me riled up, um, hopefully I make some good points, but I've got more than enough energy to take it to somebody and say what I think and make sure that it gets heard. I try to speak for a lot of people. And I think that in so many ways, we all want the same thing. It's just we want somebody who's going to fight for it. And that's what I want to do. On top of the 36 hours in the day I don't have, I want to cram on an extra, 10, because why not? Um, but according to the way things are going now, soon I might have a lot of time on my hands to make that happen. But whether or not I have a lot of time in my hands doesn't really matter. Um, the time is now. It, if I'm going to go for it, I need to go for it. Um, and of course, even if I fail the first time, just learn my lesson, pick up, and keep going because I've been waiting long enough. Um, I've been sitting on my hands, hemming and hawing, and being a nanny long enough. Nobody in my family really batted an eyelash. None of them have said, no, this is a bad idea. Stop doing that. Don't do it. Don't. None of them have said that. They all encourage me in my craziness, it seems, which kind of makes me worry about them. Um, but supposedly, I'm supposed to bring charm, um, some friends to help out. I'm gonna have to scrounge for those because, unfortunately, most of the people I work with are the opposing party. Good people, uh, all upper middle class, white dudes, most of them older, handful of people who aren't white, but mostly older and comfortably middle class. And I don't think they really see what's coming. Either which way, Um, that's mostly who I'm surrounded by in this deeply blue state that has some really crazy red here and there. Um, but I'm gonna going for it, guys. Feel free to tell me off. Feel free to go, well, thanks for coming and dropping that on us. I'm defriending you now, which would really suck and would make me cry a whole lot, but you're free to do that too. Um, tell me I'm nuts. Um, tell me something maybe I don't know that will actually help me on this crazy venture. Meanwhile, I've got a lot of cramming to do. In other, probably less crazy news, my husband's um, feet are still not great. But he is talking about wanting to go back to work, so I have to find something for him, and of course for the eldest. Um, my youngest, he has been diagnosed with something called Alagille syndrome, which, believe it or not, comes from me. It seems that he has, in your genome sequence, like right around where N is, where it goes, okay, well, G, C, or B is supposed to be here. He has like an X or a C. So he has something called Alagille syndrome. Now, most people who have it, they discover it when they're really, really small. So their subset is babies or already adults. So he falls in this criteria of children, well, children, um, like between the ages of 7 and 39 that they don't really have a whole lot of subsets for, and he doesn't have a lot of the markers of Alagille. So he has no major liver problems, he has no major gastrointestinal problems. Um, he doesn't really have a lot of the things they're looking for. He does have that narrowing of the artery, and they've got one here, so they were looking at moya moya, which it doesn't seem to be moya moya, but they're going to be doing MRIs to make sure that that narrow artery that's right up here doesn't continue to narrow. But they're like, the brain tissue's good, everything is good, but they're factoring in the fact he has a stent, he has plantar fascia, which is um, basically a poor kid can't bend over and touch his toes. The tendon there is so tight and so thick that runs down the back of his leg that connects to his foot. Um, Yeah, he can literally like do this and that's about it. That the poor kid can't do that. He wears glasses, he's got developmental delays, he's got an IEP, but he is one of the sweetest, smartest kids. So I'm thinking half the time that whenever the hospital wants to see him, it's just because these people just want to soak in his complete and total himself, as we call his Jadenness, because Jaden is very Jaden, and he's very awesome. But yeah, he seems everybody wants to study him a whole lot, and that could be in jeopardy too. So that's another reason why I'm doing this, because people like my Jaden. I grew up in the 80s. People like my Jaden, uh, when I was a kid, and even as a kid, I always just found this inherently kind of enraging and unfair, and I didn't really understand what was going on. They were classified as almost not worth the time. I know what happens in bad governance to people like my Jaden. So there's a lot of reasons why I'm doing this, and most of them are probably just inherently selfish. Uh, but like I said, I had to come here and, drop this bomb after 2 years of being mostly unavailable. Though a lot of you guys, if you have my phone number, you have my email. Um, I always answer those as best as I can. Um, my schedule has changed, weirdly enough, and I actually managed to get it arranged the way I wanted it. Um, So I work the weekends, something they've been asking me for like the last year. Would you like to work the weekends? Sure, I'd like to work the weekends. They finally did it. And at the time, because we work 3 12-hour days, and Seattle for a while there was back on 8, which we can't do where we're at. There's like literally 4 people. There's just no way to make that happen. So, without literally giving somebody like 20 hours a week on either end, and that just, it's not viable. So, we work 3 12-hour days and a 6-hour shift. Now, it used to be that I worked, um, you know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, half day Wednesday. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to move the weekend, I like my Sundays. So, I'll work the Friday, Saturday, one Sunday, half day Monday. When they went to go implement this, they're like, we don't know if they're going to allow this to happen. Blah, 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 because the other side of the week. And I'm like, it shouldn't affect day shift. It shouldn't affect day shift at all. This is just night shift. Me and the other person that I got to set up with, we agreed on this. This works. And they were like, well, we'll just have to run it by upper management. Upper management, done. And it's because I never asked for anything. This is a person who never calls in, though. It's hilarious because now, twice now in the last 6 weeks, my favorite day, which is the 6-hour day, I've had to call in because of I had a cold at like the middle of January all the way up to February. February caught that flu. So right like February 3rd, I actually like called into that 6 hours. That just felt awful. I then had like a sinus cold that hung in there forever. Seemed to re-catch the flu again. So like literally 2 weeks ago, I had to call in for that 6 hour. I was so mad because I never call in for anything. Usually, if I do call in, it's like because I have, an emergency thing with, one of my kiddos or my husband. So, I mean, I just, I don't call in. I don't take time off. I'm always there. So, done. And, it just kind of, the guy who took over from the opposing days, he had been moved to Seattle. He moved back and he was wanting to mess about because mine is work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On my half day on Monday, normally because I'm ending the week, I would work the first of that 12-hour shift. Well, the person I was working with is like, can I have that? You take the later version. I'm like, I'll take it. Not a problem. I don't care. I just want this done. I don't. The great thing is, now I don't want to let it go. So this guy comes back in. He's like, "Oh, we're going to switch this back." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're thinking, buddy, but no, we're not going to switch this back." Because I discovered that on Mondays, I get to fix dinner with my family, eat dinner with my family, and then go work my 6 hours when all of my major security, because, the links have shut down, everybody has gone home. And I have like just 4 or 5 hours with just me and all the stations and doing check-ins like every hour. And it's nice. It's nice. Let's just put it like that. It's nice. So I managed to get that. So that change has happened at work. I'm still slated to graduate if I mean I don't know if it's all going to go according to plan, but if it all goes according to plan, I'm still slated to graduate. In 2027. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to try to do all of this and add running for office and on top of it because of so many reasons. Um, because of, the difficulties that I'll be having, the difficulties that some of you guys will be having, the difficulties that, my youngest will have, my husband will have. There's all kinds of selfish reasons, but there's also reasons like the shock that the people that I work with are going to get hit with because they don't understand what's coming. They don't understand what's happening, and they won't, frankly, until it happens. And I worry about them. And I just want to make things better for the people in this area that I live in. I've wanted to do that for a while, but I guess I just needed the cattle prod. And it just struck me out of the blue, do this. So as dumb as it sounds, I'm going to do this. Anyway, I do miss you guys. I love you all ever so much. If you ever do get a chance, email me. I love responding to emails, as he knows. Um, text me. I love texts, as T knows. Um, Miss Kathy, you and I are definitely going to have to have some wine time. It'll be on a really weird day, but we definitely need to do that. Um, Miss E, know that I miss you ever so much. I hope things are going well for you and D and the wee ones. Oh my gosh, Dave, hope you're hanging in there, mate. I love you guys, and I miss you guys so much. And I realized no matter what, I was probably looking at another 2 years of missing you guys so much. With going to school, it's just going to be inevitable. 2027 is probably when I'll finally get back to Livejournal and Dreamwidth, and um, it's like it's going to be till 2027 still before I get to Livejournal and Dreamwidth. So hopefully I might be able to find some time, if I can miraculously pull it out of thin air for this, to be back here a little bit sooner. Feel free to message me, Elise, especially you. I need to know what's going on. Um, Hamster Woman, you definitely need to let me know about your children's accomplishments. I'm sure they're epic. But you all know, every last one of you, that I love you. I think of you guys all the time. And I'm sorry for dropping this bomb, because it is a bomb. And I don't know if I will bomb or if it just is a bomb. Um, but at the same time, who else am I gonna, I guess, crow to? Who else am I gonna go, oh my God, talk me out of it to? Um, Hopefully, I will do another update soon. Hopefully, I can just answer the damn comments to this because that would be nice, right? Hopefully, the sound works on this. Um, but until I can find out, take good care of yourselves. Take good care of each other. Um, and know that I love you and miss every last one. And I'll talk to you soon.